In this video, I want to give you the definitive best small forward build in NBA 2K23. It is truly capable of doing everything at a high clip. If you play 2K online in any type of capacity, this build goes stupid hard in the paint and it gets busy from deep. But without any delays, let's jump into it. As we already know, when it comes to your first and last name, it doesn't matter. Same thing can be said for the hand, doesn't matter. Jersey number as well doesn't really matter. But for this build, I wanted to go with a Carmelo Anthony type of build, so I went with number 15. And then for the position, just go with a small forward, especially if you're new, to ensure that you don't have to ever play point guard. But you know, I'm a knucklehead, so I made him at the shooting guard, and I regret it every time they line me up at the one. So just save yourself the headaches and make him at the small forward. Moving on, we're gonna want to make him 6'9" as far as the height goes, and then 194 for the weight. For the wingspan, we're going with the 7'1", and then the body type is strictly up to you. I usually go build. And now moving on to what really matters and what you're really here for. And call me weird, but I like to start at the bottom and work my way up to the top. So starting out with the physicals, we got speed and excel, which we're just going to straight up max out both of these suckers at an 83 and an 80 respectively. I mean, is that even a question? Next, for your strength, you're going to want to go with a 75, and no, not for no trash bully badge, but so that you can be a force to be reckoned with. Most folks, unless they're making them big, they don't put nothing into their strength, so you're going to be able to throw them around, be it in a bump animation on defense or when you're working out of the post on offense. Next, we have vertical. I went with a 70, mostly because it looks nice. This build isn't a high flyer, and defensively, you're going to be playing hands up defense more than going for the highlight block. Truthfully, I probably should have lowered it a bit, but it is what it is. And then stamina. On the low, this is a super slept on stat. I went with a 97. Definitely should have went with a 95 since you got the +4 from Gym Rat, allegedly. I went this high because once your stamina gets low, you start missing your shots, which we don't want. That's the physicals right there. Moving on, you have the defense and rebounding category, and we're starting out with interior defense, which we're going to want to put at a 58, which is just enough to play solid paint defense for our position. And by putting it at a 58, you get an extra badge point. For perimeter defense, all we really need is an 86 for silver clamps, but if you bump it up to an 88, you get that extra badge point as well, so why not? For the steals, we're going to want to go with a 78 because it gives us access to silver interceptor. For blocks, like I said before, with vertical, we ain't going to be out here sending people shots into the second row, so we only really need a 70, and that's to give us access to bronze anchor. But by bumping it up to a 73, you get an extra badge point, so again, why not? Offensive rebound, who needs that? And then defensive rebound, I leave it at a 43, which is what you need for an 88 perimeter defense. Continuing up the ladder, we have playmaking, and it's simple here. If you're not the lead guard, which we aren't, we're gonna want to go with a 75 speed with ball, 75 pass accuracy, because you just need them to hit animation thresholds for the LeBron James pass style and Michael Jordan dribble style. And for ball handle, since we can't get to an 89 for the Hall of Fame quick first step, just drop it down to an 85, which is all you need for the goal quick first step. Now that we got the boring stuff out of the way, time to move on to the fun stuff, shooting and finishing, which mainly most people come to 2K to do. In the shooting category, we're going to start with the mid-range, which we're going to go with an 84, which is a bit of an overkill, some may say, since all you really need is an 81 to unlock Hall of Fame midi, magician, and space creator. But by going with an 84, this almost ensures that you're an assassin from the mid-range. Think Carmelo Anthony, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. For three-pointer, we're going to want to go with an 89, of course, and that's so that we have access to the OP gold agent threes. And then free throw, you know, it's a dump stat. I like to go with a 75 on all my builds, but from all my research that I've done this year, all you really need is like a 60, 65. And then if you know your free throws animation, you should be good. And then we have finishing. Starting with your close shot, you're going to want to put it at a 76, so we have access to silver fast twitch. Technically, you only need 75, but by bumping it up 1 point, you get an all-important extra badge point. For your driving lay, you're going to want to put it at an 80, as that gives you access to Zach LaVine's layup package, which is arguably the best layup package in the game, especially when you take animation requirements into account. For driving dunk, usually I would go with an 80, but if you bump it up to an 81, again, you will get a free badge point. For standing dunk, we're bumping that up to a 55, so we have access to Draymond Green's dunk package. And then we want an 80 for our post control, so that we have gold in all the post-related badges. And if you followed everything that I've said so far to the T, then you should have a build that resembles exactly what you're seeing on screen right now, aka my Carmelo Anthony build. But we're not done yet. Moving on, we're gonna go over the takeovers, and then I'm gonna break down the badges that I use on this build. For the takeovers, we have access to all the usual suspects: shot creator, shooting, defensively, and now because of that 80 post control, we also have access to the post takeovers as well. Me, I went with limitless range and extreme clamp takeovers, the usual suspects, but it's up to you here, whatever you want to go with. And if you did everything right, you should see on your screen a two-way shooter appear. But remember, we're not done yet. Now we have to go over what badges to equip to take this build to the next level. But first things first, we're gonna want to add one of our +4s to defense so that we can get that tier 3 anchor, and then the remaining 3 we're gonna put into our playmaking so that we can get silver handle for days along with silver clamp breaker and gold unpluckable. And if you have any other bonus badge points from the past seasons, add them where you see fit. I added my +2 to shooting, so I'm at 27 badges in the shooting category. Now then, for your finishing badges, you're gonna want to equip in tier 1 gold back down punisher, drop stepper, and spin technician. This automatically gives us a mismatch anytime we're lined up with anyone smaller than us. So when you're walking into the rec and you see a matchup weighs less than you, bully work him. Shorter than you, bully work him. Doesn't have 2A in his name, bully work him. Has 2A in his name, bully work him. Most people do not have any type of paint defense in their build, especially at the small forward shooting guard position. And then we want silver slithery, as it'll help us to avoid getting blocked. And the best part of it, it works on dunks and layup. This is a no-brainer badge. And 2K really dropped the ball for giving 6'9s access to this tier 1. Moving on to tier 2 finishing badges, we want silver fearless and limitless for obvious reasons. And then in tier 3, we're just taking silver fast twitch to speed up them drop step layup and just layups and dunks in general. Now, moving on to the shooting category, in tier 1, we want bronze ant. I'm not too sure what it does, but I put it at bronze as I know it helps with them low stamina shots. And then you're gonna want to get silver midi magician. Me personally, I have +2 here, so it's on Hall of Fame. And then in tier 2, of course, we're maxing out our agent 3, and then we're going with silver green machine. In tier 3, we're gonna max out our blinders, catch and shoot, and deadeye. Me personally, I think limitless range crash is a badge and better as a takeover, but if you want, you can put your points there instead of deadeye. It's up to you, but catch and shoot and blinders is a must. For your playmaking badges, you're gonna want to put 2 points into tier 1 wherever you want. Me, I switch back and forth between silver hyperdrive and silver special delivery, but the choice is truly up to you. We just need 2 badge points here. It honestly doesn't matter where it goes. When it comes to tier 2 though, we're gonna want to equip bronze bailout just in case we need to pass out of a bugged out shot attempt, and gold quick burst for obvious reasons. In tier 3, we already went over it, but I'll hit on it again. Silver clamp breaker, handle for days, and gold unpluckable are must. And then in the defensive category, in tier 1, we're also just looking for 2 badge points equipped. Me, I went with bronze off-ball pest and bronze workhorse just for the animations that they give you. And then in tier number 2, we're going with gold challenger, silver clamps, and silver interceptor. And that's all you need to play perimeter defense to those 3 badges right there. Clamps to obviously lock your mans up, challenger to defend the shot, and an interceptor for when you're playing off-ball. And then moving on to tier number 3, the only badge that we're going to want to equip from here is bronze anchor, which is why we added the +1 to defense just to give us access to this badge, because it's pretty much going to be our interior defense. This and our 58 in our interior defense is going to help us to lock down the paint. And there you have it. With this build and these badges, you should be good money and a lethal weapon in the rec. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this build and if you decide to make it. Now, if you're trying to be a better shooter, then check out the video that's on screen now. And till we meet up on them virtual courts, luck out. Peace.